Wow, there's a hint of cool in the air this morning. I saw we're in the 80s all week, no 90s. I'll take that for sure. Hi, Stripey. You going to your spot, Tux? Come on, let's go. And such a good boy. I got good stuff for you. Good morning, buddy. That's my bud. He tries to rub on that little tiny pole in there. Hi, bud. Good morning. Came out last night and he had all these briars in his fur. I had to debriar him. You guys doing good? Marty was at the kitchen door first thing when Don and I came around the corner this morning. He hears us in the house and he is right on over there. Wow, it's 63. That's right, 63. No wonder it feels so good out here this morning. Oh, it should be nice on our walk for sure. We'll be back, Jules. You hoping to get more bacon today?
Yeah, well, let's get me some.
I'm thinking they've mowed since we've been here. Which would have been Friday. Yeah. We're walking just a little later today and the splash pad is open. It opens at 10. It's also recycling some water into the storm drain right now. Don reckons maybe once a week they let some of the old water out and put in some fresh water or something. Because they certainly recycle it. Well, needless to say, Don and I are pretty irritated today. There is a lot of trash after the weekend. And the town's issuing yellow armbands for people at the splash pad and the kids. Parents, somebody is just throwing them down on the ground when they take them off, and we picked up maybe 10 of those this morning. In the area around the pavilion over here, people partied this weekend and left behind stuff, and it's just sad. And people have these nice facilities and can be standing a foot away from a bottle or a piece of trash and won't walk it to the trash can. Their stuff or somebody else's stuff. Third and final lap and we're out of here. They emptied a lot of the electronics this morning and there's some sort of a pool table, foosball table or something over here. I'm just gonna glance at it and keep on going because we don't have any room for it even if it was good. Clearly, it's only supposed to be electronics recycling over here, but people dump all kinds of other stuff as well. Although, as I said in the past, better here than on the side of the road somewhere. Although, you know, Guardian Angel's what, 3 miles away? That would be a better place for it. And if it's not good enough for Guardian Angel, then the landfill. The Holly Springs landfill will clearly take items. Matter of fact, at the convenience site we go to, you could put it. It was inside this morning, but when they moved out the recyclable or the electronics, they moved this out of the way. And there's a bed with all the equipment, the hardware and everything, I guess. The pool table wasn't much, but it was probably better before it got all tossed around. Well, no kitty sighting today. And I didn't see Kitty on Friday. I guess the last time I saw Kitty was Thursday. I want to believe that she wandered up to one of these townhomes and a cat person provided assistance. I'm going to choose to believe that. There are people like me out there. This is the part of the trail I'm talking about. It's almost all shade. I really like that trail in Rockingham. Wish it wasn't so far away. It's, you know, like 90 minutes down there or something. It's not super far, but you know, you don't want to drive longer than you're going to walk. And we walked the entire trail. It's not like there was more that we didn't do. Don's got his 11 a.m. Tuesday conference call. It's down to 2 days a week now. He's fixing to call in. See, Don in his call. He's worried about Jules grabbing the Bluetooth after he, when we walk up to the car. That's happened and caused problems before. I've been out here for a while, 30 minutes probably, trying to figure out how to hook up the GoPro to see the driver instrument cluster, and I'm not happy with it. But I did finally get it, the right joints hooked up so that it's actually pointing there. But I only have wide angle. This is a 5, and so it makes it look really far away even though it's really close. You know, it's an action camera. It's not really designed for that. I could mount a phone different. I have this little tiny Insta 360. It's not actually the 360, but it's made by those people. I have a little camera that might work. I don't know. I'm frustrated enough for one day. We'll try this for today. So I guess my first stop is going to be the WRL Azalea Gardens. The hydrangeas should be in bloom, and I've never gone while they're out, and I'm interested to see. It might be a little early because some of those are in the shade, but we'll see. I'm going to drive downtown and I'm going to check out the hydrangeas, and I definitely will be using the beta at least on the straight parts of 401. No, I'll see how she does going through town too. Yeah. So it's 24 miles, 36 minutes to downtown Western Boulevard area, and I'm ready to go. I've got my Pokemon Gotcha watch, handling Pokestops and catching Pokemon for me. Whoa! That turn was so tight it slung my phone off the center console. It's now down at my feet. We don't have to be quite so intense, Ruby. Really, we don't. As I said yesterday, this is way too far back. She does say she's creeping forward. The problem is when she decides to go, don't go. There's a car coming, girl. I mean, come on. And she says to go left to get to downtown. For some reason I thought she was going to turn right, but she's turning left. It doesn't matter to me which way she goes. I'm just going to go here and we'll restart. This is one of those cases where I probably preferred to go through downtown, because even though I'm not actually playing Pokemon, my Gotcha Evolve watch is, and I need some Pokeballs, so I wanted to go past all the Pokestops. But that's okay. We'll let Ruby decide to go the way she wants to go. I have no idea if the GoPro is going to show the screen well enough, or vibrate too much, or allow you to see out the front windshield enough. It's really an editing nightmare on a one video a day kind of, yeah, she didn't, she braked pretty hard there. I took her out. She did not like that dump truck at all. Now it's out of traffic aware cruise control. You know, when you jerk the wheel out of autopilot, she's still in traffic aware cruise control. So the lane centering stops, but the speed doesn't. I don't know why she freaked out quite that bad about the dump truck. Oh God, here comes a trash truck. And not on the curve. There's just no way. This road is really narrow. So I was watching the pickup truck behind me in the rear view, and he had his wheel firmly on the white line. It's just that narrow. Again, I was gonna go through town and up 401, but she's taking me this way. can be difficult to get through Fuquay without a lot of traffic, so I could sort of see why she would come this way. I am still driving, but I'm fixing to put it back on autopilot. What's that? 3 disengagements to take me to get to Piney Grove Wilbon Road. Oh well. Local friend that owns a Tesla said they tried the beta, which they also just got, in chill mode, and it was a lot better, a lot less aggressive. I have to say though that I think there's a setting, and I'm probably set to quote unquote standard, that has to do, I thought, with passing though. I should review the settings again, because there might, without putting it in chill mode, which I'm loath to do, there might be another setting that would tone down the aggressiveness. Yeah, I guess I would tell Tesla there's a fine line between aggressive and assertive. You know, there's a fine line between go when you haven't looked enough and you should slow up a bit, and go when it's really safe to go, and don't wait, you know, don't lose your window of opportunity. And I'm just going to say that I think that we have not dialed that down properly yet. The GoPro there for a minute purely because I couldn't see the little red dot from my angle to tell if it was recording or not, and rather than think that it was and it not be, I stopped it and restarted it and heard all the right beeps. And you know, I don't have a helper in the car today, so, but I am full hands on the wheel, allowing the GoPro to do its thing. It'll either be good quality or it won't. Obviously, I won't be recording the whole trip today because I would have no possibility of editing around that much 4K content in 24 hours. It just won't. It's just not possible. And probably also not that entertaining. But I'll try to choose some highlights when we're not just going straight down the road. And I know that we've been over here with Jules that much, so this might be some worthwhile. But honestly, how many more dump trucks or garbage trucks am I going to pass today? She moved over away from that truck, like clearly moved to the right in the lane there, totally, even though the trash can was there. But she did fine. I didn't feel uncomfortable with what she did that time. Noticing that when I'm in FSD beta autopilot mode, that I can't see the temperature outside. Not that it's super important right now, but I'm used to looking down, and because the speed limit and the autopilot symbols have been moved out of the way. God, she moved over again. I mean, that's good. I don't want her near trucks. As long as she doesn't take me off the road and mess with my wheels, we're good. Don and I were impressed at the size of the speed limit and the autopilot symbols down there in the lower right, because it's the first thing Tesla's put out in like 2 years that was actually a font that was good for older people, older eyes, people in general, to be able to see that font is actually, it looks large, but only because the font on the other side of the screen is so stinking small. Why don't you come out there, car? Oh, I see they're putting up a stoplight. Honestly, yeah, the camera stopped there for a minute. I don't know why. I was going to say, honestly, we need that stoplight there. It's very hard to get out. When I'm dropping off the student that drives with us during the year, it's not this road, but it's one more road up, and making that left turn to go down to the house, I can be there for minutes waiting sometimes. So yeah, not this one either. It's the next I think it's the next paved road. Well, so far the day, me holding onto the wheel and her keeping going, it's all good. hard to make a left out of off that road. So if there's options of going down to the road with the stoplight, even if it's a mile or half a mile out of the way, let me tell you, at rush hour traffic, that's probably a good idea. Start it and then not work on it for over a week. I like, you know, every day, every other day for an hour or something is good. But it is convenient to wait on the one part I was missing. So hopefully that'll be in the mailbox today. Somehow I thought it was coming Saturday and then I couldn't re-find the tracking number. So I don't know. It's a minor 1 mile per hour hesitation there. I'm not sure why. I didn't glance enough to see if the brake lights came on. It wasn't a significant slowdown. I wouldn't call that phantom braking. I would call that thinking. And really no different. You know, the only reason why I noticed it is because the speed's very consistent in autopilot. She did brake there for this car. She realizes the car is turning. I would say the braking was a small amount more than was necessary. You know, my movement in the seat based on how hard she braked. A person would have not braked quite as hard. Knowing, you know, mentally there's a very strong chance the car will be out of the way before I get there. The car was a little less sure. Ruby was not quite sure, so she hesitated. Braked a little more than necessary. See what she does with this truck up here. He used that turn area there to make that left turn, you know, basically make a U-turn. Speed limit's 35 and she's adjusted it properly. I like it when she does the speed just like she should. I get in a couple of places she doesn't know what it is, so she sets it a little more curious than I'd like. There was a turn signal came on, a human wouldn't have signaled there, just did 2 blinks and that was it. I'm sure the person behind me thought that meant I was going to turn at this intersection. She's edging forward after that car clearly got out of the way. Sort of back in the day, I remember if she came to a stop and traffic aware cruise control or autopilot, even if the car's inched forward or moved or whatever, it was very rare for her to readjust her positioning at the intersection, and now she does that very well. You know, I take driving around with the Beta as a big responsibility. So she thinks the speed limit here is 25 for a minute. Now she's speeded back up to 35. I think that's map confusion with the cross street or something. So she temporarily was going a little slower than... Thank you, Ruby, for not slamming on the brakes there. I'm so impressed. See which one of these left lanes she gets into. The left or the right. Oh, that truck made me nervous. Didn't seem to make Ruby nervous, and Ruby got in the left. And now puts her... When the brake moved that time, it actually hit my sneaker a little bit, you know, because I have my foot sort of over in the vicinity of the brake and the gas pedal ready to go if I need it. You know, the Beta instills so much confidence. No, I'm just being prepared and appropriately supervising the car. But anyway, I moved my foot back out of the way. I felt in the last few days with the Beta, the brake has touched my shoe a couple times. So I'll try to keep my foot over a little farther. I'm nervous about how she's going to make it through this turn in the intersection. It is painted through the intersection, but there's a dip in the road, and the cars on the right tend to come left, and the cars on the left tend to sort of move toward the center, and I don't know. I give the likelihood that we make it through this intersection without me taking over at 50%. But we'll see. You know, I don't even know why this was a horrible direction to come to, but I'll test it because Jules and Ruby have not been able to handle these super intersections going straight through them. We're now turning through one, but we're not going straight through it. And it would be nice to, it'll be interesting to see if she handles the super intersections going through it. I will be nothing short of, okay, there's a big pothole there, and I was not tempting that. But yes, let's get over now, and I'll get back in. This is painted straight here, totally looks normal. I mean, there's extra space to the right that could be confusing there potentially, but that's not the one that fakes the cars out. And I can't keep them straight. I have to see the paint to tell you. I got my hands where I can really take over the wheel if I need to. That one was okay. Sometimes she would be braking because of these lights over here on the left, and that's what she hesitated there, absolutely trying to understand what those lights were. There was definite thinking going on there. I did another quick stop and start of the camera. Now let's see what she does. Wow, she went, whoa, she went through it, and then she braked harder than I thought she should have. I did put my foot on the accelerator a little bit. The guy in the truck, little pickup truck behind me, and it is a little one, was not super close. Well, the guy in front of me, fair enough, did brake, but it was just, I thought Ruby braked too much for the situation. Although she did actually go straight through that intersection, so that was convenient. Somehow I did not have the AC on auto, and it was getting hot in here. I've now hit it so that I'm getting some air again. I'm just going to say that all of the updated equipment on this car really does seem to be functioning very similarly to Jules, which is a 2020 Model Y Performance that came with, you know, we ordered it with the beta, and it came with everything, and it's not had anything updated. You know, on Jules, the Model Y Performance, we had them do something to address a rattle in the front dashboard, which really did fix the rattle 99%. I meant to say 90% of the time. Okay, what's she doing here? Okay, I had to steer her. You can't let her go left through the middle of the intersection. And it was a serious enough. If there had not been anybody coming up on my left, I would have seen how far she ducked. But in that particular case, there was a car there, so. And knowing that it doesn't handle that intersection in previous drives and has gone quite far to the left before, you know, I'm just taking good care of Ruby and turn me. Let's see what she does here. There's nobody on my left that time. See, she handled that one okay. There are some times we have gone through the intersection, and it's hard to say. Maybe it's improved a little bit, but it's still not all the way good. But there have been times going through the intersections with the curved paint, dotted lines, that she actually tries to like follow the dotted line, and it's just not what you need. I'm sure all the Tesla drivers over here in Holly Springs love this portion of 55 on autopilot. Not. So we're coming up on the on-ramp to US 1. basically a 9-mile shot up US 1 to Western Boulevard, and it'll drop me off pretty close to where WRAL is. I guess I understand why she brought me this way now versus me already being downtown at the school and then going a slight distance across town to get to the gardens. Now, I always joke that this on-ramp over here is one of the most fun, acceleration, have fun. I don't want to get over. No. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy for the car to have thought that we should get left to avoid this traffic here on the right. Everybody, I mean, maybe the absolute most aggressive driver in his Model S Plaid would go left here and then think he could duck back in front of that truck up there. That is not the kind of driver I am, so no. And I would put her back in autopilot, but I just figure she'd do it again. And I'm not having it. Not having her confuse other drivers with the turn signal, not having her get me in the lane and then not be able to get back to the right for the turn. I'm not having it on any of those levels. Alright, I'll try again and see what she does, but she better not put on the turn signal to try to get out of this lane or I'm going to be irritated. Have some patience. Yeah, I saw the car get out from behind me and go around, but that's not what I want to do. That's not what I would typically do, and that's not what I want to do. Ruby says it's 0.3 miles to the turn. It's the next stoplight. I stand firm and happy behind my decision to just wait it out in the right-hand lane. Nope, we're not going around. I don't know what you were thinking, car. I guess she was thinking, I ain't gonna get stopped for this light. You wanna get, it's actually the next stoplight. There's two close in succession here. I would like to let her take the on-ramp. That was really all I was wanting to test. We have an ambulance coming up behind us. I'm not moving. Thankfully, the pickup truck to my left was also doing the right thing, and a couple of cars in front there. Whoops. Okay, Ruby, let's just forget that was a terrible place to try to re-invoke it. I really wanted to let you take this, but now you're not. There's nobody on my left. Like I said, this can be fun. Can be being the word, the operative word. I suppose she's going to want to take me out of this lane in a minute due to slow-moving traffic. she considers a real highway where she can, you know, normally would have already taken exits for me, and I don't have the increased driving visualization. You know, instead of having a lane that's marked by 2 blue lines, I have one blue line in front of the car. So you can tell she's kind of on the old navigate on autopilot stack code versus the yes, I have my hand on the wheel, don't gripe at me. Anyway, I'm not seeing the rest of the driving visualization stuff, and yeah, you can move lanes this time because I'm tired of dealing with the slow traffic up here. Just like really go now. Let's bump you up to 70 and get the heck out of Dodge. Yeah, I'm going to confirm we can go back over now. So Ruby braked pretty hard to let that guy in the van merge in, and his buddy in the identical van is now merged in behind. We're taking the next exit, exit 2 for Western Boulevard. It's 0.9 miles. I knew it was going to bring me through this construction zone. Obviously, I'm not super loving the construction zone over here. Lots of cement barricades, lots of narrow lanes, lots of construction cones. Not that Ruby shouldn't be able to handle that just fine with or without the beta. But, you know, if I can avoid over here, I will. See what she does for the upcoming exit up here. It's 2 right turns to WRAL with the exit, maybe at the end of the exit ramp, and then a right turn onto Nazareth for the actual, yeah. Well, she braked. The guy behind me's not too close. Okay, Ruby, that was just, she was coming in faster than I thought she should for the given construction conditions, so I took her out. I would not have been plowing down through there that quick. I appreciate that she did not slow up too much to get out of the way of the truck, the van that was behind me, but so no light here, just a clear merge on. It doesn't say through lane, but that's apparently what it is. I can't tell if I go all the way up to the light or if I have to get out of this lane. I can't tell. I'm not familiar with this stretch of road. Alright, it looks like this goes, does it go straight? I can't tell yet. Looks like it also goes straight. The arrow is not well painted. Yep, straight and to the right. Okay, fair enough. My watch just told me I received 3 items from the Pokestop. I really am liking this watch. Playing while I'm driving. I don't have to do anything. It does it for me. It's great. She's not giving me the option. There she goes. To go back into autopilot. I will. I'll try it. No, what are you doing? Get out of this lane. I wish a couple times today that she put on the turn signal and autopilot and I ended up jerking it out. I wish she would turn the signal back off. So I have to reach up with my hand to do that. It's a right turn onto Nazareth, so other than the fact that I guess she knows a lot of people make turns out of this lane, I don't know why she would particularly want to get over. Wow, this Pokestop thing is just spinning and spinning and spinning. Oh, well, now I'm in a turn-only lane. That's just great. Let's go into the Wendy's. Turn around, wait for traffic to clear and get out in the right lane. Actually, I can go out over here. Well, she tried to get me out of that lane. So now I know why she cared. Sorry, Ruby. I should have listened to you. This is not the direction I normally come in to go to WRAL. I normally come in from the other side. So I'm not as familiar with Western Boulevard in this direction. Great, I missed the light now. So we're over here on NC State Centennial campus. Start to see buildings, and we'll see, I think, the clock tower coming around the corner up here. WRAL was basically situated right in the middle of NC State, and she won't let me put on autopilot back at this intersection. Generally at intersections, even though she sees straight across and everything, she doesn't allow engagement then, which I kind of get, but now, Ruby's parked here in the far back corner of the parking lot. Note to self, don't ever mount the GoPro too low on the window, because remember, the window moves when you open and close the door. It was up far enough, but I certainly can't claim that I positioned it there knowing and remembering that. I saw some "We Stand with Ukraine" banners and flags up on the building. Hey, there's Mike Mays. He just drove into the parking lot with his Model 3. Hey, Mike. The weather guy here. Well, there's officially one hydrangea blossom. This plant looks like it might like a drink. I know they wilt under the sun, and that doesn't mean they're 100% dry, but hydrangeas are super sensitive wilt-wise to dryness. So as I was concerned, hydrangeas over here may not be as early along as the ones at the house are, which I meant to take a clip of before I left the house. You can just see in there the flowers starting. I thought the ones at the house, but then speak again, look at this one up here. Oh wow, that is so pretty. I love hydrangeas. It's 1 p.m. The cathedral next door just played the chimes. It's dangerous walking around up in here, right? Because it'll make me want more plants, and it'll get me in trouble. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that the gardens are not super wet right now, but I think some of these hydrangeas are thirsty. After the azaleas were done blooming, you can see that they came in and they pruned them. I think most of the hydrangeas are back in the direction I just came from, but I'm gonna walk down to the wedding photography area, the little U-shaped alcove anyway. I didn't wear my hat, so I'm probably not gonna go up by the building in the sun. I just wanted to be down here in the shade, enjoying it down here. This is very peaceful. I've only seen one other person in the gardens. I do enjoy these flatter shaped flower varieties as well. Less flowers, but very delicate looking blooms. So the border they've planted for the summer are a variety of begonia. I forget what this bigger, taller one is called, with some caladiums thrown in the mix here, and a couple of tropicals. Like I said, I can see that many of the azaleas in the gardens have been pruned back. That's the right time to do it, when they're done blooming. You can see the border extends all the way around to the curves back to the parking lot. I did decide it was worth walking out in the sun to come check out these daylilies. I like the small variety of butterfly bush. I was noticing that I now don't have a purple butterfly bush, and I really could care less about having white. So I'll probably be looking for a purple or red tone color. There's a hole technically over there on the wall where it could go, and maybe if I get the dwarf variety, they won't be so prone to falling over in the wind. The bunny rabbit guys are still here. Hi, Mr. Bunny. Well, I think they've done a great job of keeping some color in the garden during the summer and maintaining the rest of the garden so it looks beautiful again next spring. Very delicate. Is it hydrangea next to, I'm pretty sure, snowball bush, although maybe that's a variety of hydrangea too. It's hard to tell. So the Raleigh Rose Garden is about 2 miles away from my current location. I hear there's very little parking there, so I may drive over there and then decide not to actually get out. But I'm going to give it a try since I'm already downtown. I sure did enjoy walking around over here. Very quiet and peaceful right in the middle of the city. I see Mike did park over here with the other electric cars. It's a pre-facelift Model S and a Prius. There was a Volt with a V when I drove by the first time. There's basically a turnaround spot in that direction, and that's it. And best as I understood the signs, it's okay to park here. So I won't be away from Ruby very long, and unless we were going to have some serious windstorm or something, I think we're good. And yeah, you too. I'm just thinking about if I go down these steps, I'm going to have to come back up them.
Yeah, let you get out and go out the other way.
Okay. Yep. That's what I saw in the news article I read yesterday. I did not know this was here. It's as big as the one in Wendell. I did put my sun hat on. I don't have my scarf though. I won't be out here a long time. Make a loop, take a few pictures, report to Dawn. I am missing Dawn today. This is not exactly something one of the kids would have wanted to do with me in particular. Although I guess this place here is small enough it might have went over okay. It's kind of dry right now, but there's a nice water cleansing area here, swampy area. If you wanted to know, it does smell nice. Sorry I can't share that with you through the video. Very pretty fountain. I do see a water lily. I really like roses that are multiple color and preferably have orange and red tones. I see a few over here on the other side that I know I'm really gonna like. It's a super interesting peachy color. It's getting hot out here, but I thoroughly enjoyed stopping by. Like I said, I was so close, it would have been ridiculous to not at least try. Well, totally worth going to the Rose Garden. Free, easy. Just gonna see what else was around here. Thought I hit. Yep, I agree. I'm not too far from Yates Mill. Yep, the mill is nearby. I agree. Yep, Dorothea Dix is nearby. Fred Fletcher Park. Have no clue what that is. Looks like it has a nice walking trail. But no flowers. No water spot. Yeah, I had considered going to the Arboretum today also. Park out on the street and walk around in there for a little bit. It's not very far away. I suppose I should drive over there and see what kind of a zoo it looks like, because it's on my list and it's gonna be close. Seriously, 2.3 miles, I can surely handle that. Ruby should be fine. Parallel park there on the street. First off, this Beryl Street, B-E-R-Y-L, is not that crowded, and second off, people park there all the time. When we've been here on the weekends, both sides of the road are full, and I kind of wanted to park here, but no parking here to the other side of the entranceway, and it was close, and it was probably okay, but I didn't. Wow, oak leaf hydrangea is gorgeous. I saw some plants for sale in here, but little tiny things, but I saw some plants for sale. They always have a little table, and for that I'm willing to carry my purse over my shoulder with a few bucks in it. I don't know how long I'll be here today. A lot of this is out in the sun and it's the middle of the day, so don't really want to deal with that too much. But there are some shady spots here too. J.C. Ralston Arboretum. It's associated with NC State. That is gorgeous. If you had a water garden, the Japanese iris is super tempting. They do have a purple butterfly bush. It says it grows to 5 foot. It is the dwarf variety though. Most of these need sun. That's a bummer. A little water love to the perennial border over here. It's going back and forth across the walkway, so if I walk that way, I get wet. Well, there is a lot of shade here. And out in the sunny part here feels too hot on the back of my neck, so try to get back to the shade pretty quick. Shadier spots. As you can see, it's just gorgeous here. Not the biggest garden ever, although it's not puny. I just want some butterfly pictures. Where are all the butterflies? Milkweed needs monarchs. Okay, it's delightful in the shady part of the garden. Now that is pretty. Some variety of Rose of Sharon. This area here to the right is a rose garden also, and it's very new. It's been installed over the last 2 or 3 years. You know, they had to do masonry work and clearing and plants, and you know, to do it right you can't just drop it in. Well, that's interesting. This spot over here is a learning area. They have kids activities in there. I definitely wanted to walk and just check out the rose garden because it's been here long enough now that it's established itself. Very pretty. Some symmetry around the garden with the, I think that's spirea, that yellow flowered shrub. Although if that's what it is a less compact version. I thought I'd be able to go out there, but no. So back out there you can walk, but it's their staging area for plantings and things they sell and things they're testing, and we walk over there now. Out of deference to the sun, I'm gonna stay away from that far corner of the garden. There are usually some nice iris in that direction. Pretty color coneflower. The deer like the coneflower too much to have an established bed in my yard. If I buy it, they eat it. I remembered this bench over here in the shade. I've taken Don's picture over here before. I think I'll sit down and enjoy the breeze for just a minute before I finish my walk. I like the shape and how pink the new leaves on the end are and how little it is. It's very compact. I bet it's been here a long time. It's a Heim Shoujo or a Himi Sojo. Oh, that's gorgeous. Too beautiful. An elongated leaf on this hydrangea and those very delicate looking flowers. So pretty. So a mountain hydrangea, serrata or Gray's wood. Those leaves look so dimensional with the changes in shade. Looks 3D without doing any extra work. So this is a dwarf Japanese maple. This one is called Ojishi, J-I-S-H-I. And the guy that we bought the two from this year, he had one similar to this. I would consider that. Would be in sharp contrast to Don's beautiful flowing one that he has down there at the bridge. This one's pretty too. Red lace leaf, pendulum Julian. This is the shade garden. Now this one here might be similar to one of the ones we just planted. I'll know if I recognize the name. Yep, Moonrise, full moon. So this one is, I think ours is Joshin, but that's very similar, the leaf shape, to the one we just planted. One of the ones. I think it's the one by the dogwood tree in the backyard, not the one I put by the driveway. It is open to the sky in here, but this is the more shade protected, fragile. Oh, look at this maple. Oh, that's pretty. Hana Matoi. Oh, I want one of those. I like that a lot. I guess the plate's buried down there somewhere, but that's some sort of oak leaf hydrangea, except for instead of a long spike, it's got a very teardrop shaped almost flower. Sort of a cross between the oak leaf spike and the regular hydrangea ball. Very interesting. I think this is a butterfly Japanese maple. Yeah, it doesn't say butterfly on it. That's very pretty too. Okukuchu Nashiki. No commenting on the pronunciations. I'm doing the best I can, unless you know exactly for sure how to pronounce it and are being helpful. Because I do try to get it right as best I can. One more really pretty maple over here to look at. I like the shape on this one. Compact, not too wide, not too tall. This is a Rara Flora lace leaf. It's pretty. And that looks like a dogwood. That must be the Japanese dogwood that Don and I learned about recently. What does it say? Moonshine evergreen dogwood. Native to China, Laos, and Vietnam. Wow. It's very stunning how many dogwood-shaped flowers are on the one tree. That's a hydrangea too. Kokoyone Yama. Interesting. Yeah, I like this shady area. I wish the plants they had on the card up front were all shade-loving plants and not so much things that require full sun. This guy is weeping. Somebody over there talking about family stuff really loud. Let's move away from that gentleman. He's got needs today, I guess. Manio Noceto. It has a nice shape. I'm gonna follow the sprinkler. Although, you know, all things being said, it's perfectly warm enough out to get wet. I just wanted to check out what I'll refer to as the rock garden, the desert area, the rooftop terrace over here. I had not seen this part today. Well, for compact, that's nice too. Right offhand, I don't see a label. Got a ginkgo tree. Is it meant to be like that, or did it die back and just says ginkgo biloba? Dad bought me one for the other house because we had a gorgeous one on the property in New Jersey, and it didn't make it. I don't know why. But the area that I planted it in, it did not like it. Yeah, they just call this the rooftop garden. But it's more, you know, plants that can take arid conditions. It's very hot up here and it drains probably pretty quickly, and always worth walking through though. Oh, is this red trumpet vine over here? Some variety, some of trumpet vine. It sure is. That's very pretty. I can see that scarlet from across from a good distance. And there is a little bit more garden down here. I see a bunny. But nothing stunning that I'm motivated to walk in the heat to see. They've installed a wonderful metal trellis for it. Although I think it's more inclined to go up than across. Yeah, I really have seen almost everything except for walking out back to the staging area. I walked everything. It's going on 3 o'clock. I'm gonna head out. Not one swallowtail. I saw a couple cabbage variety and painted lady variety though. Somebody bought several of the Japanese iris while I was walking. I would take something home if there was something that did good in the shade, but all of these say they want sun. And the butterfly bush, I want to pick, choose better, something a little different. That one I didn't love. All right, I've had enough sun and enough fun for one day. I'm gonna take the long way home, out past Crabtree on the turnpike back to the house. It's just a little after 3, so I ought to beat all of the rush back through Holly Springs. Get home before that, before dealing with too much traffic. Let's see how busy Tesla is today. And the answer is a very busy lot. Okay, I'm on US 70 West. I'm far enough from Crabtree now and past Tesla that Ruby knows that I want to get on the turnpike to head down to the house. So I've engaged autopilot now. See what she does. It's a mile to the exit, and it's a funny exit, so it'll be really interesting to see what she does with this up here. It's like you have to exit, and then you have to cross the road that you would normally turn onto, and then you have to go back up the on-ramp on the other side to pick up the turnpike. It's not your typical interchange. Idea why she put on the turn signal, why she would do that right at the intersection. I don't know. Try autopilot again. The exit up here is going to be a right, not a left. her is 45. We're doing 47. I don't understand why she tried to change lanes in the middle of that intersection. We weren't in the wrong lane. We weren't behind slow-moving traffic. There just was no reason for it. She should be taking this here. No turn signal, but she took it. Staying in this lane is good. She's coming up a little fast on the stoplight here, but she is slowing. She momentarily put on her turn signal and then she stopped. If she'll just stay in this lane, we're good. There's no reason to change lanes. You go through the light and you bear left at the fork, and you go left up over this really high off the ground overpass. Move the wheel just a little bit so I don't get in trouble. Light turned green. Watching for her being confused and thinking she needs to change lanes or something. Like I said, if she'll just follow this pickup truck, we're all good. Number of miles, like 14 or something, until Highway 55 in Holly Springs, where we get back off. Is she gonna get over? The guy behind me sure did. I agree that this road doesn't go away, but I'd prefer to be over one, so she's asking me to confirm lane change. We got over no problem. She's increased the speed to 70 without me having to do anything, which I really appreciate her doing. I feel like that was pretty smooth. It should just be straight down to Holly Springs, so I'll stop recording for a while. Everything's going good. I'm tired now. I'm listening to my book. I'm not in autopilot. It's 4:30 and I'll be at the house shortly. There is no Tesla without Elon, at least for me. And I'll take any bad along with all the good. No problem there for me.